Arsenal really have got to own their size and start getting ourselves out there and proving that we are what we've become. And I just want it to happen so much, as we all do.
There's such massive potential for us to go on and win things, and not just win things, but create history, you know, create a culture, bring that back into the club.
The last 2 weeks of the season have probably been my best in football.
Ultimately, it's changed the way in which I am viewing my club.
I would say this is the most connected I've ever felt to any Arsenal team.
It's about experiencing really difficult things, but ultimately I think coming through that, and that's what's been so special about this season.
This is a relic of the past. The more I think about it, like, I wish it wasn't a 22-year wait, but at the same time, it definitely feels worth it, you know?
And I felt like it's been the kind of culmination of, the things that got me into supporting Arsenal, really. Feeling like you're against the world at times, and to see it kind of come to fruition over the last few weeks has been, amazing.
There was absolute unity, and that's what Mikel Arteta has brought to Arsenal, in my opinion, and that's ultimately what has resulted in this title.
When you normally go into a season, you normally think you have your own personal expectations, and then you have your expectations. Then there's expectations that the media give you, and then there's always expectations that the club and the players have. This is probably the first time since Arteta has actually been at the club where I think the fan expectation and the players and the club and the mandate expectations have all sort of aligned. Everybody expected to win the league this year, and that means a lot.
It all feels heightened this season. Everything feels heightened, whether it's the extreme emotions of the stress or the extreme elation as well. This feels more this season than it did 22 years ago. We've had a long time of division, of infighting, and all of that seems to have just been washed away.
I hated being everyone's favourite second team because of the way we played football. And I think Arteta's made us what George Graham had us playing like in the 90s, with a little bit more flair, but mainly people not liking us, and that's fine.
Another massive change has just been that, like, Arsenal are there. You know, you truly believe that Arsenal are capable of going for any major honour, really. And I honestly don't think that was the belief, at least in my lifetime as an Arsenal fan, before. Arsenal are champions.
Every day there was something, you know, you think back to the start of the period, beating Burnley on that Monday night, and then seeing Manchester City drop points to Bournemouth, and that party, that impromptu party outside the Emirates at 10 p.m.
We were messaging as the game was going on. I just put my kids to bed.
There was no real plan until it got to around like the 70th minute. Everyone was like, you know what, we're just gonna head out now. And we did.
No one knows what to do. No one knew what do we do? How do we celebrate this? It was just, I'm just going to be here and I'm just going to be happy.
These are the streets that I have walked my dog in, that I've taken the bus to school in, and suddenly they are transformed by this sea of Arsenal.
That's when you get to realise the impact that the club has on people that are not just season ticket holders, they're not just match day going fans, even if they just go once or twice a season, but they're there, they're waiting.
Coming out of Highbury Islington waiting for you and seeing fans stream out of that station in their thousands was, it's something I'll never forget, man. It was incredible.
I never expected that moment of just pure joy.
As people look back at that, they'll think, wow, what a period that was. It was a special period. I mean, to lose the Champions League final but still look back at the last 2 weeks as pure magic is quite special.
I think you feel that these guys, a lot of them, over an extended period of time, have made a real sacrifice for us. And I think that longevity, particularly with people like Saka, Odegaard, Ben White, you know, he's really put his body through it for this team. You can feel that sense of personal sacrifice and personal care, and that really comes through that connectivity.
You look at the bedrock of when it started, Smith Rowe, Saka. I always remember that game against Chelsea. I just remember you got these two howling kids who have brought us from the doldrums, really. Real abyss at that point. It was pretty grim watching. Add that with a bit of COVID as well. It was really tested your resolve as an Arsenal fan. So I think them being the bedrock of the squad, even though Smith Rowe moved on, but then you had Ødegaard come in, and just seeing those two on the bus the other day, yeah, you can't help but feel connected to it. And even the ones that have come slightly later on in the journey, Declan Rice after the first couple of years, it's a squad that you see kind of get it. Most fans aren't fickle, but if you support a club like Arsenal, I think you have a level of expectation around wanting to succeed, especially growing up watching the teams that we did. And I think they've understood the narrative around that and run with it.
I think it's hard not to feel connected to this group. I think most Arsenal fans will feel connected. We have a global fan base, and I think everyone globally probably feels very connected. I think when you're winning, it's a lot easier, of course. You're in unity, you're all on the same page, it's not as decisive. But I think also the club have just done such great things this season in uniting the fans.
People from around the world, genuinely literally around the world, all have something that connects them to Arsenal. And for someone that's grown up in London, that's supported Arsenal my whole life, the fact that I can have similar sort of shared experiences while not actually being physically with these people means that the club has done a good job to actually connect us all. So when you see the footage of people watching in Kenya or watching in Australia and stuff like that, that's the club has done its job. The club has connected us as a fan base. The club has connected us as a club in general. So I think the club have done an exceptional job, honestly.
I have to reframe my connection to the board KSE because I'll be honest with you, I've had at least a decade of scepticism, I think. And it's not about money, it's never been about pouring money into the club, it's about the connection. And when we talk about the connection about Arteta and what he's done, I think you have to give kudos to Josh, particularly about the connection that he's made with fans too, because he really has embraced it.
I think importantly, seeing Josh Kroenke in the last couple of years, and he seems to be really heavily involved, and he seems to get it. And I think that's quite a rare thing for an outsider initially coming in to get what not just Arsenal's about, but what English football is about. And I feel like the pennies dropped and they get it, and that's helped us gravitate towards him a little bit more.
Since Arteta's come in particularly, we've seen way more of Josh, just way more of Josh. We've heard from him a lot more. And that means a lot to a fan. You want to know that the person that's ultimately, signing the checks, making all the big decisions, is engaged with you.
There is really joined up thinking between the ownership and the football side of the operation. The ambition has been manifestly evident.
I questioned Josh Kroenke, I questioned his motivations. Fast forward 6-7 years, and I've said this in a few sort of news pieces recently, that I just think the Kroenkes have been brilliant. Josh has been really invested in the club. He's here a lot, he joins forums, he's been visible, but at the same time, he hasn't made it about himself. The Kroenkes haven't made it about themselves.
And they have invested when we've needed it, and it's culminated us in winning the league this year. So, yeah, long may it continue. There's no reason why we shouldn't be challenging for at least the next 3 or 4 years with the age of the squad, the age of key players in the squad.
Everything is in place to have more success. And I think that is probably one of the most exciting things.
Getting the monkey off our back of 22 years was huge, but also Arsenal have never retained the league title before, so let's go for that. We've never won a Champions League, unfortunately, so let's go for that.
Arteta's in a challenging position in that he's in one of the most difficult league in the world, and he has to try and maintain these standards, and he has to try and maintain the success. I think he will. I do believe we've got a Champions League in us. I believe we've got more league titles in us.
Hopefully, we just continue to grow, continue to add to the squad, continue to have that mentality, that winning mentality, which I think is so important. For years, PSG were known as the bottlers. They won the Champions League and now they've won 2. I believe that one Premier League title now can bring more.
For something so incredible, for the payoff of the league title, it's felt like we've had to earn it more than most, and I think we've earned a lot of it out of real heartbreak and real criticism from all sides, really. I think it would be easy to say as a kind of institution, like, we've done what we can do, but I think it's felt like the ambition and the desire and also a kind of calmness and a belief that they can win has always been there from the club.
Arsenal use the word connection, and there really is a connection, and that's something special. You don't get that everywhere.
Everybody seems to be going in the same direction, and that's amazing.
Honestly, it's really once in a generation sort of experience for sure.
We all know we're Arsenal, and I think that feeling will stay with me forever.
I'm going to be chasing that feeling of that day we won the league for the rest of my life.
Hard to think of a flaw when you've just won the league. It's good.